Católica crew, Melisa,
Carly,
and Miguel.
coming from Lisbon, Católica Portuguesa, Lisbon, where we are right now. This is our roof. That's our basilica. Okay, so, we are going to introduce you to Lisbon and Católica and Portugal, and Miguel's going to start off with courses and the visa process.
Yeah.
Okay, so for visa, do it early. Do it early so that you get it out of the way. For visa, you have to get your criminal record check. Do that quickly. And then also, if you want to go into the actual place in downtown Vancouver, go in the morning.
So I'm West Georgia.
There's usually never ever lines in the morning, but if you go after, there's usually very long lines.
I mailed mine in and it was fine too. So.
Well, yeah, if you're from Vic, then it's fine.
So basically, start it early.
Just get out of the way.
It's not that hard. They barely checked it when we came in, but it's a good thing to have, we think.
And you can look it up online for all the requirements. There's probably like 6 or 7 requirements.
It's not bad overall. It's not
Just
hard.
doing like June, July. Maybe,
And I think it was like,
June.
what was the cost? Like 120? 120?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Okay, good.
As for courses, all right. So you need like one regional course. That's a culture course. What was that for us? It was
We did product and consumer management.
yeah, that one. Okay, so
Really similar to marketing.
So for courses, take product and consumer management. That's a pretty easy course.
We just aced our project.
Pretty easy.
No big deal.
So
That's
do
our
that
turn.
one. Do sociology.
Organizational sociology,
It's not a bad course. It's okay. It's kind of boring, but
It's easy.
You can do that one. It's pretty easy. Then there's strategic management of innovation. We just had that one. That one's a very good course. Good teacher.
Yeah, really good teacher. Raphael Conti?
Yes.
Yeah, and then what are the ones? There's
Leadership.
leadership. That's a very good
Really,
course.
really fun. Like probably our favorite teacher the whole semester.
Prof was killer.
All the Italians here are pretty good for teachers.
It's
so.
only half a semester too, so you're finished it by what?
Yeah.
By end of October.
The only thing though is a lot of these courses are participation, so you kind of have to show up for some of them, but it just
And it's
attendance.
3 hours, but he makes it pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, but overall the courses I would say aren't that hard. Besides me and Portuguese, it's a pretty good semester. So.
Yeah, if you don't know English, Portuguese can be pretty hard.
No, you know Spanish.
Yeah.
I know
If
English.
you don't know English, you're gonna have a problem.
I struggled a lot in Portuguese, but these two knew some Spanish, but especially Miguel. So if you know Spanish or French, you should be pretty good.
He probably did really well. I did okay. Carl,
Hope
maybe
before
not so much.
pass, you know? So
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the costs here in Lisbon. Basically, to live in Lisbon, the cost of living is a little bit lower than if you live in Victoria or Vancouver. For rent, we paid about €300, which is pretty typical, which is actually probably cheaper than either Vancouver or
if the
or Victoria.
exchange rate had
And
been
cheaper
better,
than any other European country.
yeah, by far,
Yeah.
Lisbon is cheap. Everything.
Food, really, really cheap, cheaper than at home.
Alcohol is cheap.
Alcohol is super cheap. You get wine for like €2 a bottle. What
You
else?
get a liter of beer for €2.
Yeah.
Lots of liters of beer for €2. Metro Pass is €35 a month.
Yeah, which isn't bad because we used it at least twice a day.
All the
so,
time.
Yeah.
Definitely got to get the Metro Pass.
And that's for the buses, the trams, the metros, and the little trolleys. So
And
it's really good.
Católica's like 5 stops away? 5, 6?
Yeah.
Around
from
there.
where we are, yeah. Okay, so in terms of the orientation and facilities at the school, I had a buddy from Católica. He was super helpful, picked me up from the airport, made sure I got to my apartment, showed me around, spent like probably a good 2 full days with me.
He adopted us. We were all his
adopted
buddies.
the rest of the
Yeah.
Canadian crew.
He brought me to a bunch of Benfica games.
He's the only ginger Portuguese you will ever see in your life. A ginger model, actually. We should send him his bio.
So I definitely recommend getting a buddy, or
Yeah.
at least like one person have a buddy just to kind of get
Because
around.
I had
in
one
the
too,
beginning.
and I just used them for the airport pickup. That's all.
So
And it was worth it. Yeah. So, having a buddy is really good if you just want it to kind of move in easier.
okay, so Carl's going to talk about housing.
You want to do facilities at school?
Oh, facilities at school.
There's
There
not much at
aren't
school.
Any, really.
It's really small. It's like literally 2 buildings.
It's nice, but you don't really hang out at school at
There's
all.
a library, a computer lab that I use pretty often, a couple
Coffee
cafes.
bar, yeah.
It's really cheap to get coffee there. Food is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
You just have to nail the ordering coffee.
So yeah, tell them, listen to this. If you want coffee, they're going to be like this big, but Melissa,
The ladies at the cafe gave me a really hard time at first because I would try to order an American coffee and they'd be like, what are you talking about? And then eventually I learned how to say, which is what they taught me, abatonado pingado con leche. So if you can say that, then you're golden. You'll basically get a little coffee with some milk, and
there you go.
I had it every day.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
50 cents?
50 cents.
Boom, boom. Okay, so I want to talk about housing. So all the Canadians, so there's 3 of us that went to Católica, and then there's 4 that went to Nova, and we all decided to stay together in this big student housing. Our opinions of this kind of vary. We're kind of getting a little sentimental right now, so I think I would personally recommend where we lived again. Melissa,
I think at first when I came here I was really shocked because it's like 4 apartments merged into one, but there's only 2 kitchens and like 5 bathrooms. There's
literally 24 of us living here. Luckily there was 8 Canadians, so we kind of dominated, but overall the housing I thought was really good because we basically have friends all over Europe and the world right now, and I don't think we would have got that living on our own.
In terms of the social aspect, 100%. It was amazing. You meet so many people. You have so many opportunities to go out. In terms of it being clean and orderly,
not so much.
If you're used to living alone with like one other buddy, it's gonna get getting used to. But
yeah, it's kind of like similar to residence, I guess, but
it wasn't bad. We were in a really good location. If you're in the Estrella area, where literally there's a very famous basilica behind us, there's a park literally the other direction. It's a beautiful location. The very the cute, quaint, colorful streets of Lisbon. So I think overall, if you're wanting the exchange kind of lifestyle, it was really, really good to live. But if you need any living suggestions, just send us an email and we will let you know.
Carl's going to talk about traveling.
So we love traveling. Everyone tells you. No, we did. Okay, everyone tells you from previous. We love traveling. Okay. We went to school, but we traveled a lot, Okay, so first of all, you guys have to hit up everywhere in Portugal. Portugal's a little underrated. You don't really know where it is. Honestly, everywhere we went was either very diverse or just probably some of the nicest places any of us have ever visited. I feel for sure, when it's still hot in the summertime, go to Lagos. Unreal.
Lagos.
Unreal. Unbelievable. Just, you have to go. Hands down.
Lagos, Azores.
Azores is a cluster of islands in the middle of the ocean, and honestly, it's in between Ireland and British Columbia, and there's hot springs.
They filmed Jurassic World there.
Yeah, and you can get a Ryanair flight there for maybe €50 tops, so it's a steal. Yeah, you have to travel around Portugal, and everyone before warned us that Portugal is very off the side of Europe, so they said it's hard to travel. We didn't actually spend that much traveling compared to everyone else. The only thing is we booked our flights a little late for Oktoberfest and stuff, so we recommend if you guys are into traveling and you get an exchange in Portugal, just plan your schedule ahead of time and you can get some pretty decent flights. So don't not pick Portugal because you want to travel, because we probably every second weekend we're somewhere.
And book things early. Don't worry about, I'm going to miss my Friday class or my Monday class. You'll figure it out later. Just book it early.
For sure, if the BCom kids do Oktoberfest, you guys should hit that up because
good early.
It was unreal. So, yeah.
And then also hit up Spain, obviously, because it's super close. And you have to go to Barcelona.
Barcelona, for sure. Italy, Munich, Amsterdam.
But for sure, figure out how to explore Portugal, because Porto, Sintra, Lisbon, Lagos, everywhere.
It's December right now and I'm still wearing
shades.
It's
December. So we're pretty good. Okay, next topic is social events and recreation. Miguel.
Okay, let's see. I'll start with recreation. I guess there's a lot of opportunity to play sports here. For soccer specifically, there's kind of recreational leagues where you can play and drop in and play games every week, and you just have to answer on Facebook and say I'm down, whatever, I'm playing. But then you can also play for the university. That's what I did here. I played for university for 4 or 5 games. And,
we came to watch.
And
then he quit.
It is very different.
He wanted to travel.
It's very different, but it's a good experience because you can't speak Portuguese, so you kind of have to get translated through all the practices and stuff. But it's pretty cool. For social events, there's a lot of social events, especially through Erasmus. There's pretty much every day of the week there's a different club to go to.
I've never been out on a Wednesday in my life. You can go out on any day of the week here. So it's quite an interesting place.
It's pretty cool.
Also, get the ELL card.
The blue one. The blue one.
Lisboa.
The blue one.
Little blue card gives you discounts. Free
it's worth it for sure. Just get it early.
€10. Get it the first couple days.
And not only clubs, it gets you discounts for a bunch of other stuff like tattoos.
Yeah, Miguel got tattooed.
40 euros for a tattoo.
There you go.
Tell me about Barrio Alto.
Oh, there's also Barrio Alto, which is literally from where we live in Estrella. It's like what, like a 15-minute walk.
10, 15,
It's like
yeah.
down a hill and up a hill, and then there's beer for €1 25 cents.
It's like a whole little district.
beers.
Little
It's like a giant street party.
Everybody
It's awesome.
just drinks
A
out on the
street party every
streets, comes
weekend.
in and out of the bars. Actually, something totally unreal. You have.
It's
go
hard to
see.
even describe, honestly.
Yeah.
Um,
What else we got?
And the main club, probably Urban
Lux.
Beach. Urban Beach and Lux. Well, Lux is the biggest one here, but
Lux is one of the top 10 clubs in Europe, as of now.
dressed nicely.
I
And
loved
go with
it.
a lot of girls.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit hard to get in, but it's totally worth it if you get in.
mhm.
Don't pay €250 to get in, because they'll try to charge you that.
Yeah, oh yeah. But honestly, though, I feel Lisbon, there's so many social and rec things to do. You're not going to be bored. Besides, I think everything's pretty cheap. If you go to Barrio Alto, like, if you spend more than €6, you're living.
There's also a lot of trips
So-
with the school.
We went to
That's
the
all
beginning.
it
Yeah,
does.
take advantage at the very beginning. Me and Melissa went to Oviedo's, Sintra, Porto. So yeah, and also the beaches are super close. Cascais, Carcavelos.
what?
Yeah, you take a train and it's another gorgeous beach that's just outside of Lisbon. So for sure, take advantage of that.
But there's closer
Yeah.
beaches
Oh yeah.
like Carcavelos and where you can go surfing.
Yeah, we went surfing like maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and in the winter. So
Okay, so Carl's going to tell you about what to bring and safety in Lisbon.
okay, so personally, I didn't think it was that unsafe in Lisbon. I think any major city in any country in Europe, if you're just like not aware of things will happen. We had one of our friends from Canada get her purse stolen, but honestly, other than that, nothing happened. Just be on the lookout. Don't be stupid. But I felt completely safe. Even walking back from the clubs at like 4 or 5 in the morning, you're fine. So it's all good. What to bring? Literally,
Close.
just be smart. Yeah, it's not a third world
I don't wanna
country.
be
You can
naked.
buy anything here. Yeah. It does get a little bit cold. You kind of get climatized, but honestly, if you come in September, it's gonna be hot. And by December, yeah, we wore jackets a few days. But
It's what, December 17th?
18.
And we're wearing like hot shirts.
yeah. So honestly, you can buy stuff here. Just pack smart, and you guys should be fine. Okay, next topic: co-ops. Yeah.
So in terms of co-op opportunities here in Lisbon, none of us really looked very hard.
No.
No
The
co-ops.
unemployment rate here is pretty high, so I feel like it would be difficult to get a co-op, but if you're really keen on it, I'm sure you could figure it out, maybe start it early, but
Start a modeling career. Oh my God.
Also, one thing for what to bring for clothes, bring a rain jacket.
Oh yeah.
Rain
Because
jacket.
it does rain sometimes, and it's literally the most horrendous rain we ever
But we've had a week of bad weather the whole
the rain
time we've
doesn't
been
come
here.
from the sky, it
so
comes sideways and hits you in the face.
yeah, a little nuts. But
It's
overall,
so-
you guys will be fine. Just pack smart. That's it. Co-ops, yeah, good luck. Okay, so language, food, and culture. Melissa's gonna touch on language first. Melissa?
so in terms of language, like when you go into the restaurants and stuff here, most people speak English unless you're going into like a really small little shop or something like that. Lisbon's pretty good. If you go a little bit more north, less people speak English, but if you're in the big cities, it's pretty good. Getting around was really easy. We didn't really have a problem. Language, in terms of actually learning the language and taking the course, like we were saying earlier, is quite difficult. A lot of European students, young people, they speak
We're
many
kind of
languages.
jealous. Yeah.
They speak, like French, Spanish, English.
I think unless you're fluent in Spanish, Portuguese will probably be your hardest course.
Yeah, definitely was our hardest course.
So
Everybody else just seems to be at a higher level because they have an advantage. They know a lot of languages. We are a little bit.
it was fun for a while when you learn the basics. Like, it is nice to kind of know how to say hi and thank you and I want milk with my coffee, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, Portuguese is hard. That's
Okay,
it.
so food.
Food, okay, people hate on the food in Portugal. I like it. I don't think there's anything particularly about Portuguese food that, like, is that amazing. There's a lot of seafood, a lot of, like, rice and potatoes. If you go to Lagos or down south, it's fresh. Recommendation, go to Portuguesa. It's this little place. You get breakfast for €250. Amazing. Some sandwich thing, a coffee,
It's like the Portuguese Tim Hortons.
and a freaking freshly squeezed glass of orange juice to die for. I'll let you know what it is. But anyways, the food is good. It's cheap to buy in the grocery store, and we can go out to eat for pretty on par with in Canada, so it's good.
Pastries are good.
Oh yeah, pastries, pão de doce. Try that.
The burgers are
The
fire.
pastel, the
Burgers are good.
Yeah, it's
Pastel
crazy.
de nata. You got to get the traditional Portuguese tart.
All
it's
the
in
burgers,
in
literally
Belém.
So
everywhere,
good.
so
Yeah.
good.
But anyways, the food isn't anything special, but there are some very, very good dishes here that you guys should definitely try. You won't be mad with the food. Okay, Miguel's gonna do culture.
Culture, just pretty much Latin culture.
Laid back.
It's pretty super relaxed. It's super relaxed. So like, if you ever want to do like, for example, the banking, you really have to push them and say, like, come on, get my account open. You have to go visit them again and again because they're pretty relaxed and like how they do the processes and procedures, and they usually tell you like little detail by little detail, so you have to keep going back. So for that, be ready for that. What else for culture?
I would say everything is kind of conducted a little bit slower, like
But not too bad.
waiting for your banking and stuff like that. Stuff in the school, like we're used to kind of having things right when we want it, but here
Yeah, not here.
people are just a little more.
Kind of gotta
casual.
go with the flow. and
Portuguese
it's fine.
people tend to be about 15 minutes late,
Portuguese
Yeah.
time.
like standard.
Like,
Yeah.
if class is at 8:30 a.m.,
People
class
show
starts
up.
at 8.
Yeah, you're
Depends on the
fine.
class. Depends
Yeah.
on the class.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Group meetings with Portuguese people, don't worry if you're 15 minutes late
You're
because
good.
they're probably going to be half an hour late. So
If you're ever in group meetings, get a group with exchange students,
Yeah.
not Portuguese
No.
students.
ones that are not on pass or
Yeah.
fail.
Yeah, like us. So we're done on our topics. Basically, I just want to say you guys honestly should pick Portugal as your number 1 and 2 choices. Do Católica,
Católica.
number 1, and then Nova, I'm thinking a close second.
Yeah.
But it'll be worth it. We've had nice weather literally for 4 months straight. We got lucky, had an amazing group of people, even people we live with. Oh, the church is talking. But yeah, you guys honestly pick Portugal. If you have any questions before or after, we'll give you our contact information below. Anything else we should say?
We love Lisbon.
Yeah, we're actually really sad. We're about to leave in a couple days.
Choose
And
Lisbon.
yeah, it's a little sad. We go? Recommendations?
Choose Lisbon. It's hot.
Always
The
wear
weather's
your
hot.
shades.
It's nice.
Yeah. How do you say goodbye in Portuguese?
Adios.
Adeus.
Adios.